Before Scotland had kings, before clans wore tartan, there was a name whispered with fear, McGregor, a name tied to ancient blood, to warriors who claimed descent from the first rulers of the land. Pride ran deep in their veins, and pride in Scotland has always demanded payment in blood. The McGregors claimed royal ancestry, older than many crowns that ruled Scotland. Whether truth or legend, it shaped them. They believed the land was theirs by right, and belief is dangerous when steel decides ownership. The McGregors once held fertile land, strong land, land others wanted, not barren hills, but ground that fed men and cattle. In Scotland, land was power, and power attracts enemies. Through royal favor and political games, McGregor land was stripped away, given to rival clans with stronger ties to the crown. No battle, no warning, just theft sealed with ink and steel. The McGregors were pushed into harsh country, mountains, forests, places where survival itself was a daily fight. They went from landholders to hunted men, and Scotland watched them fall. They did not forget what was taken. They did not forgive who took it. Every child grew up hearing the same truth. The world had turned against their name. Soon the crown named them thieves and rebels, criminals, not because of crimes, but because of who they were. The law became a weapon aimed directly at the McGregors. They were hunted across glens and passes. Any man bearing the name was fair game. Any who sheltered them risked death. The McGregors were no longer a clan. They were prey. When the law hunts you, survival demands change. The McGregors became what the crown feared: ambushers, raiders, men who struck first and vanished into the hills. If the law would not protect them, they would protect themselves. With blades, with fire, with violence learned young and practiced often, Scotland had created its own nightmare. As pressure closed in, feuds exploded, old grudges turned lethal. A stolen cow became a killing. A killing became a raid. The glens filled with whispers of revenge. Scotland was sliding toward bloodshed, and the McGregors stood at the center of it. They struck at night, silent approaches through mist and rain. Doors kicked in, blades flashing by firelight. Men died before they could scream. This was not honorable war. This was survival warfare. There were no safe homes, no neutral ground. Even women and children learned to flee at the sound of dogs barking. To carry the McGregor name was to live hunted every hour of every day. Fear spread faster than truth. Stories grew darker with every telling. The McGregors were painted as monsters, and monsters are easier to justify killing. Ambushes turned to slaughter. Men were cut down in glens, bodies left as warnings, blood soaked into moss and stone. Scotland was no longer dealing with a clan. It was dealing with a problem it wanted erased. The crown decided enough was enough. Order would be restored, not with justice, but with force. The McGregors were no longer enemies. They were a disease to be removed. A royal decree was issued. The name McGregor was outlawed. To bear it meant death. To shelter one meant death. Even speaking the name could condemn you. Men were forced to abandon their fathers' names. Sons denied their blood. Families split apart to survive. A clan was ordered to erase itself. But blood does not obey ink, it remembers. In secret, the McGregors whispered their true name. In secret, they taught their children who they were. From that moment on, the McGregors lived as shadows, hidden, armed, watching, waiting. Scotland believed it had broken them. It had only sharpened them. To survive, McGregors took other names: Campbell, Murray, Grant, names of enemies and allies alike. On paper, the clan vanished. In blood, it endured. Some sold their swords, fighting in foreign wars under false banners, killing for men who would have hunted them at home. Survival demanded hypocrisy. Others turned to the hills, raiding, smuggling, becoming stories. Parents used to frighten children. The outlaw clan became folklore wrapped in fear. Children were raised on caution and rage. Trust was dangerous. Mercy was weakness. Every generation inherited the same lesson. The world would never be fair to their name. Years became decades. Decades became centuries. Kings died. Laws shifted. Scotland changed. But the curse lingered. Eventually, the ban was lifted. The name McGregor was legal again. On paper, the war was over. In memory, it never was. Men reclaimed the name their fathers had hidden, not loudly, not proudly, carefully, as if the land itself might still punish them for it. The clan was smaller, harder, scarred by centuries of hatred. They were not conquerors, they were survivors. The McGregors did not win through numbers or wealth. They won by refusing to disappear. Scotland tried to erase them. It failed. This is why the name McGregor still carries weight, not because of glory, but because it survived betrayal, outlawry, and extermination. This was not a blessed clan. This was a clan forged by cruelty, and it endured. Even after the ban ended, fear lingered. Old enemies remembered the raids. Old families remembered the dead. The McGregor name was legal again, but trust was not. Some wounds in Scotland never truly closed. The McGregors became a warning written into Scottish history. What happens when land is stolen? When law becomes a weapon? When a people are pushed too far? Outlaws are not born. They are made. Scotland tried to crush a clan and instead created a legend. Not heroes, not villains. Survivors shaped by violence and refusal to vanish. The name McGregor did not conquer Scotland. It outlasted it.